Hi there, my name is Cassandra Brown, and I will be talking to you today as program manager for a program set to help put a halt to the rising rate in adolescent girls' suicide. There is a rising number of public health concerns that need addressing. One of these is the increasing number of teen suicide attempts, specifically focused on girls, which has shown a rapid increase in recent years. In 2014, over 5,500 lives aged from 10 years to 24 years were taken by suicide. In recent years, we've seen an increase in girls attempting suicide and planning suicide. There are various factors that contribute to this increase. We can see factors at each level of the socio-ecological model. At each level, we see both things that are helpful and things that hinder the issue. For example, at the interpersonal level, family can be a major hindrance if teens are in an unstable household. On the opposite side, a supportive family may be helpful in getting proper mental health treatment that can eventually prevent suicide. There are several hindrances and helps at the organizational and the community level. These two levels are what we will be primarily addressing with the programs we have outlined for you, because these programs will begin implementation at the school level. We also wish to approach things at the policy level through mental health legislation, which we will talk about in a few. We have designed 3 intervention plans that we will map out and discuss now. The focus of these plans will be on getting proper mental health treatment and encouraging social support. The first program is the New Hope program, and this is a way to educate and encourage parental involvement, as home support is an important factor in suicide attempts. The school year will kick off with a parents' assembly on mental health and suicide prevention. Students will then have a workbook to complete with parents. The hope is to get parents more aware of the issues of mental health disease as well as suicide within the age group. The second tier of this program is peer mentoring groups. All teachers and staff will be trained by licensed mental health professionals so that they may supervise workshops led by a peer mentor selected by staff. The staff will also train this mentor from what they had learned from the licensed professional. And this mentor will also be someone who is wanting the job. No peer will be forced into leading these workshops. It will be a voluntary but also selected position that students will take. The workshops will consist of role playing and just getting everyone involved in the importance of mental health and kind of getting the idea of mental health treatment to be not so scary and try to eliminate the negative stigma that is associated with it. During these workshops, there will also be a trained mental health professional on site to help assist in any way that is needed. The third intervention plan is to start promoting a mental health legislation. This will involve getting a lot of community support as well as educating the community about the importance of mental health treatment and the role that it plays in suicide prevention. This will also require a lot of advocating and also gaining political support, talking to politicians, getting them on board with what it is that we want to do, and also outlining the legislation itself to hit the key points that will be needed in getting the proper address. We'll do several things to try to track how the programs are going. We will compile log sheets to use for the kickoff assembly, as well as the workbooks and each of the workshops that are completed. We also plan to do before and after surveys and tests. We'll give students tests before we start the program and give them the same test at the end to see if there's a gain in knowledge. Also surveys year to year to see, is there a decrease in suicide thoughts by students? And also, is there an increase in kind of social acceptance? Do they feel safe, and do they feel that the environment that we are creating with these workshops is a good one? As far as getting data and statistics, it will be important to have good working relationships with local medical professionals, counselors as well, but it can come from both sides, so we need to make sure to have open lines of communication with both so that we can get accurate data. There is always the potential for barriers and challenges. Getting the community on board will be a potential challenge, and also just student interest in general. At the age that we will be trying to address this is a very sensitive age, especially when we're discussing mental health. So generating student as well as parental involvement will be important. And also making sure we're giving accurate mental health education, and we have the right access to the proper sources for students. The following is a logic model just to kind of help with the plan that we have. Below we have all what we will need for each tier of the program. Staff time is going to be important, as well as just having the sufficient counselors and sufficient training for each step is going to be key here. Here we have what will be done at each level, the assembly for educating the parents, as well as the training that will have to be done for staff, and the matching of peer mentors with students, as well as the community outreach to educate about the importance. These two levels, we hope to get a passed legislation for mental health. We also hope that students are being more educated about mental health as well as suicide awareness. We also want teens to feel more like they belong in the environment, or at least that they have someone they can go to, just having a more positive environment, which would then lead to more teens getting mental health treatment if it is needed, because they realize it's not a bad thing. Also a decrease in the suicide rate, and getting more girls willing to even just ask for help to help them cope with things. All of this with a goal to decrease the number of adolescent girls who are attempting suicide, because this isn't something that we want to continue to trend up. We want to see a trend down, and we really feel strongly that addressing it at the mental health aspect, as well as just a social acceptance, will be key. Thank you for your time.